All right, welcome everybody. Episode 2 of Elite Cast. I'm Parker Rogers, joined along with
Matthew Bressington.
All right, let's get into it. Today we are going to be talking about Elite Britain. We're doing Matt's doing all these superlatives, and we're going to get into the quarterbacks, one of probably the most controversial position groups that we're going to be talking about. And then after that, we're going to jump into a little conversation again about the NFL Academy players and everything that they have to offer. So without further ado, jump right into the controversy. Elite Britain superlative film. What have we got, Matt?
Right. So let me get on my document. So basically, the problem that I've ran into with this one. So I've been doing the superlatives for a couple of weeks, trying to go through a couple of them. And I know that the quarterback was going to be the highly controversial one. It's the one that every side of the ball is going to be. I got so many messages that I've shown a few of them on the story. Hassan should be number 1 and everything. Sam Fenton should be 1 and 1 and everything. If Josh in everything, I'm gonna be like, this is wrong. Like, the die-hard commitment of the fans of these players is for real. So like, it's very hard to narrow down who is the best player. So what I was gonna try and do, I've got a huge empty document that also showed on the Elite Britain story of I was gonna get a game film, a random game from from 3 quarterbacks, all random games. And I was going to break down accuracy, decision making, the strongest arm, and the scrambling ability. I got a couple of things into it with Josh, who I'll go on later about. But other than that, could not get the film. So we're going to have to rely on highlight tapes and stuff that I've collected over the last couple of days from these players. But overall, that's what we're going to try and break down the 4 categories. Scrambler, strongest arm, decision making, and accuracy. I hand timed Josh's throws. I only got a couple of them because I can only get one. I've got from previous teams I had coached prior to my move this season. I had the game tape on Josh. That's fine. I had that, but I could not get the other 2. NFL are very strict with who they let have their film. I emailed. Got nothing back for them. I found the email of Huss's coach when he played in high school in the States. Emailed, nothing. So we're gonna have to just go off the highlight reels. So sadly, that document will probably forever remain in my unfinished project kind of file that I have on my computer, which is sad. But I think we should just go straight into it, and then you can share the wrath of the elite rowing community that I've been dealt with for the last couple of years. Let's go.
Okay. We're going to start off. Sam Fenton, NFL Academy. This dude is huge. I looked at pictures of him earlier this year. I was like, he's got to be average size. No, he's 6'6", 200 pounds, listed as a pro style quarterback. So not going to be a lot of scrambling there. Not going to be a lot of scrambling there. I found his huddle, watched through his highlight tapes, watched through his film. And the biggest breakdown that I had from him was his pocket presence. He's able to step back in the pocket, move up in the pocket. He's able to move around just within that small little, I'd like to call it like a 4-yard by 4-yard box that he has to move around. He likes throwing the medium ball, but he can throw the deep ball when he needs to. And like I said, he doesn't need to scramble just because of the pocket presence that he has. I can't really gauge how strong his arm is. But his ball gets there fast and efficiently. I'm not like you. I didn't hand time the throws. I could have. I probably should have. But he's very bold, and he's not afraid to throw into coverage. There's a couple clips that I saw. He threw into double coverage, triple coverage, right on the money. I mean, you couldn't walk out there and place the ball in the hands any better than he did. Yeah, he's really accurate and efficient. He places the ball where only his receiver can get to it. And he knows how to navigate the pocket. You see the film. He's making the pre-snap calls, making pre-snap reads. So I think he's pretty good. So for me personally, I think he would get the most accurate superlative just because there's a couple clips. I think it was game on the line, 4th and 11 for the game. Back of the end zone fade, place it right on the money over the DB, only where his receiver could get it. That was great. Throwing it into double coverage, triple coverage, right on the money. For me, he gets the most accurate.
Yeah, he's excellent. As a person who's been following his journey for quite a while now, he's put on a ton of size. He's obviously 6'6", is a hard, difficult frame to kind of fill out. but he's done a real good job. I think he's listed 200, but I think I reckon he's a little heavier than that now. I've seen the pictures of him recently, at the camp that the NFLA are currently on, and he looks big. So yeah, fundamentally he's excellent. He puts the ball right on the spot, as you said. It's crisp, it's accurate, there's a very tight spiral. Yeah, for me, I agree. He probably does get my most accurate superlative. People have said about his arm, they've raved about his arm. He can flash it. He shows it. He definitely has it. He's not always the most, and it's probably for a good thing. He's efficient. He's safe, and he goes for what he knows. He doesn't throw random 70 yards to someone he can't see. He knows exactly where they are, and he will get to that point. And he obviously knows his playbook. You can tell he's extremely smart quarterback, and he knows the reads. His timing, his pocket presence is good. But yeah, I would agree. He would probably be my most accurate. Not much of a scrambler. Again, doesn't need to. If you're making 10 yard, 10 yard, 5 yard, 10 yard, you don't need to get like a couple yard run when the pocket breaks down. With the strength of his O line, then you're gonna be fine. So yeah, I would agree. He would probably fit into my most accurate for that category.
Yep. All right, one controversy out of the way. On to the next. Joshua Alsbrook. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah, I believe Alsbrook.
Yeah, Joshua Alsbrook. Bristol Academy. This one was shocking to me. 5'11", 185. When you talk about quarterbacks, when you talk about like the elite level of quarterbacks, you're not usually talking 5'11", 185. That's still, for that size, is pretty big. But for like in the grand scheme of things, usually we see quarterbacks over 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
For me, I turned on his film. First thing I see is a clip of him. He was about to get sacked. I think he broke 2-3 sacks, runs around to the right side, throws a touchdown. I was like, okay.
I was there for it. It was crazy. And then his hand came off, come around, throw it, dime, perfect.
I'm like, this dude, he's elusive. He's a scrambler. So
and he takes contact. I've seen him play against Bristol. He took the ball, scrambled out. He's got like a 5-10 yards, and he would not scared of any kind of contact. He will go straight head on. He took on like a GB invite safety. He does not care. He will take it. He's a very, very good runner.
Yeah, that's what I was like. That's like what, like in my notes, it's something that I mentioned. Like there, that play, he took it. It was either an option or just he was scrambling around to the right side. He's going up the sideline. I think it was a safety DB flashing in front of him. Lowers his shoulders, runs right through him, absolutely flattens him. You don't see that out of a quarterback. You don't see that level of gutsiness out of a quarterback. Usually that's, we leave that up to the big running backs and tight ends. Nah, this dude's a quarterback. He's running around the pocket. He's fast. He's really, really fast. I mean, he's outrunning all the skill players. You see him on the option. He's able to make the decisions, make the right reads, run to the outside, and then just absolutely torch the defense. I mean, I think I saw that. Had to have seen it at least 4 or 5 times in his highlight tape. So he's very proficient in the run game, outrunning everybody. He's fast, powerful. But at the same time, like while he is a scrambler, he's also really efficient passing the ball. He has a pretty decent deep ball. Didn't get to see too much of it, but overall, for me, just based on the film that we've seen, based on his elusiveness, his quickness, and his willingness to take hits and to make plays, he gets the scrambler superlative. And I would go as far to say his decision making, just based off of how he makes his reads and like what he decides to do when he has the ball in his hands.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to it because we've seen a few times as on his tape, he not only breaks the sack, but then he'll look downfield for the pass as well. He's not just tucking that ball, running to the sideline and getting a 2-yard gain, even though he's been running the backfield for 10 yards. So he looks downfield out to the play. Obviously I'm not going to believe everything I've heard, because if I did, I'd had every single one of these as every single one of the superlatives. But I've heard from a couple people that he's routinely hitting the crossbar and like a football goal from about 50 yards out, routinely, one after the other. So that it's something to consider, but not something that I'm going to put as a reputable source. No offense to any of the people that said that. But yeah, he's again another big 185. He's stacked. He looks good in the pads. He runs well. He runs powerful. He uses everything he's got. Of course, 5'11" is on the shorter side compared to someone like Fenton or someone the next quarterback we'll talk about in a minute. but he is the most elusive out of all three of them, I would say. He's probably the quickest out of all three of them, I'd say. I don't know his 40, but I'd like to see him run fully. Yeah, his acceleration, he just bursts up that gap incredibly well.
I'd have to say, I would probably say it's got to be around like in the 4.6 to 4.8 area for his 40. I mean, you just don't get that level of speed without being that fast. So
Yeah,
I think that's where he is. So scrambler superlative, possibly decision maker. Leave that up for speculation, up for the controversy.
I think I'm gonna put him as a scrambler, but I'm actually gonna give my decision making probably to Fenton as well. So he will get 2 of my superlatives. So personally, we're gonna go for that one. I think start the controversy off correctly.
There we go. And our last quarterback. Help me pronounce this guy's name. I'm having a bit.
I believe I'm sure the Gateshead coach will be on me if I say this one's wrong, but we just call him Huss Simsir. I believe that's how you say his name. So we just call him Huss or H. But yeah, he's for real. He's just had some camps and he's thrown deep balls. He looks huge. He's 6'5", 235 pounds. Incredible. Yeah, he played at Pennington High School, which is it's American competition. He's big. He's strong. He stands in the pocket. He throws deep. He can scramble when he needs to. There's a play where he comes on the right side of the field, trucks a couple people, makes him look amateur. The first play of his highlight reel, it might be the second play, rolls out, takes the thing, throws a beautiful corner route, touchdown. It's just he's excellent. He's very, very good, and he's from Gateshead, they've produced Justin, another UK quarterback who just committed to I'll have to look up in a second, but he is just committed to a D1 school. So they've got something good in the water in Gateshead for sure. Their coach is also the founder of Team North, which is a thing that's been going around. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
Huss he's probably he's the youngest. But he's also one of the biggest. He's also, in my opinion, the strongest and has the biggest arm.
When I was watching his film, I looked at him. I took one look at him, like, okay, this dude's got to be, junior, senior high school. No, he was a sophomore. I think he's class of 2024, so he's not out. He's got 2 more years of high school football to play. My first notice, Swiss Army knife. That was the little name that I gave him under my notes, because there was plays where he obviously he's a quarterback. There were plays where he caught the ball out of the backfield, took it for a touchdown. And I don't know if I'm right on this. He might play defense too. I mean, that size, that speed, obviously he's got to play somewhere else. But there was a clip of him tackling somebody and it looked like he was, a tackle for loss. But yeah, just like you said, he can stand in the pocket, throw the ball deep, move through the pocket, navigate it, and scramble when he needs to. Like you said, he's not afraid to take hits. He's not afraid to tuck the ball and run. My biggest thing for him, he knows how to find his open receivers. And if he doesn't have an open receiver, he's going to make that receiver open. We call it throwing the receiver open. So it's putting the ball in a place where only the receiver can get to it, which makes them open. So if there were several times his receivers were running out routes and the DB was right on him. So he just placed it a little bit further outside where only the receiver could reach out and grab the ball. Overall, he's young, he's huge, really impressive, and he has a lot of potential. So I went as far as giving him the decision maker, might go and give him the strongest arm superlative, but I would go one step further. All right, hear me out here. Okay, I would make my own superlative and give him the do it all superlative, just because of what I saw in his film, catching the ball, throwing the ball, making tackles. Now he's kind of all over the place.
All right, I'll make a special one just for you. I'm definitely not opposed to Mr. Do It All kind of situation, but yeah, he's excellent. If you want to just take a look at his recent camp in 2022, he's throwing deep balls. He's getting recognition for it as well. Justin also, like I said, mentioned earlier, is Eastern Illinois that he committed to, which is got some pedigree as well. I believe quite a few decent players that come out of that university. But yeah, he's excellent. I think all 3 of these quarterbacks are it's these 3. And it's the rest. I mean, there are a couple. Jonathan Metafonwu is another brilliant one from the Renegades. He definitely deserves a mention. But yeah, he's also a scrambling quarterback. But these three, I think, are like the pinnacle of like UK football and how far kind of we've gone in the last couple of years. I think that overall, Sam will get my decision making and accuracy. Josh will get my scrambler, and then Huss will get my strongest arm. That's going to be my forward. I'll lock in. No changes, and then obviously you've got your own one, which I'm fine to include. We'll see how people react to that one, but we're gonna have caused a few issues. I hope you know that. Have you ready for the people that will say that we're wrong?
Ready for the community to bring it. Bring it on, guys. Come on.
For sure. Definitely. I will tag you in it just to make sure that I'm not the only one getting the messages like, oh, why is this not the one? Why is this not? Why isn't he going to be? Do you know he's went to this place? Like, oh my gosh, every time, every single place.
I'm just going over real quick, looking at Huss's Instagram. He's been at the University of South Alabama throwing deep balls. He's been at Georgia Tech. I mean, all these college coaches and scouts are at these camps. So I would be like, I'm expecting to see him get some offers like really soon. And then just as he continues to play, he signed with Gridiron Imports for the next 2 years to play at Rabun Gap High School. Like we said in the last episode, it is one of the biggest one of the biggest places that European athletes go for high school. It's down in Georgia. I think they just won a state title this past year. They might have just won the state title this past year. So he's going to a good school. They've produced Division I talent. Obviously, Darren Egu, who just committed to Vanderbilt, went there. So yeah, he's the future is bright for him. I'm really excited to continue to follow him and see just where he goes.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's a good little trio. You know what I mean? I think each of them was going to try and compete with each other to make the next one. But I believe Josh is also a captain at Pride, which is a big statement. If you look at the captains of Pride historically, they've all turned out fairly well. Like Eric was a West Virginia player. He was a captain. Eddie Amade, also a captain, went on to play in Sweden for a bit, and now was a Birmingham superstar. Like it's the pedigree that comes with Pride. It's the new kind of class that comes with the NFL Academy, and then it's the Huss is just that the right kind of thing that you want from a quarterback: the size, the strength. Because obviously Gateshead do have the history, but they're not as big as a program as the other two aforementioned teams. But yeah, it's a great three of them. I've locked in mine, you've locked in yours, and I think it's fairly solid. I'm happy with it, you're happy with it, and we'll see how the community kind of takes onto that one.
Yep, there we go. Moving on. Next topic, NFL Academy. Let's get into this for a couple minutes. Biggest thing, players. They've got a ton of players, a ton of talent. I mean, you want to know who from the NFL Academy has offers? Pull up their Instagram. I mean, the first couple posts, you got Kofi Taylor Barrocks. He's got Jacksonville State, Peter Clark, Temple, Kofi again from Ole Miss, Daniel Akinkunmi, probably butchering that. University of North Texas, Peter Clark, Northwestern State, Kofi again, New Mexico, Daniel again, Arkansas. I mean, you got tons of talent, tons of offers. I mean, the level of production to Division I colleges is unmatched here. It's nothing like we've seen from any other program, any other team in Europe.
It's huge, and I think they're going to get a couple more. I think there's some people that are probably in talks with teams as well about scholarships. I've just seen a vertical of Tyreek, and that's insane. Yeah, 44-inch vertical. We've not seen it on the Europe's League post. Literally just put that one on there. Yeah, he's an athlete. He's been working for years as well. Been following him for a while. But yeah, I think a lot of people are going to carry on getting those deals in. I think that those 3 or 4 standouts we mentioned is definitely not going to end with them. They're going to have easily, I would say, over 10 players that will have D1 offers, not just interest. There'll be 20 plus of interest. Like Maurice Baker, the running back, he'll have some interest. Samuel will have interest. Quite a lot already do. Quite a lot are going to have the talks. It's going to be, keep updating the NFL Academy page. There's going to be a lot more. We're going to have to probably come back to this and every now and then just to check up on how many more offers they've been getting. But yeah, it's excellent for football. We mentioned in the last Elite Cast about Kofi Taylor Barracks, who's Under Armour All-American. He is an excellent linebacker. He's finesse, power. He can play the coverage. He can rush. He's got an arsenal of weapons. He's excellent, and he is definitely the kind of crown jewel of the NFL Academy. I think that's how they're kind of treating him personally. I think it's a good decision. He's brilliant, but yeah, the NFL Academy, their purpose has been to drive like Europe into that kind of level. They've just moved locations just to kind of prove that. They had London, now they're going up to Loughborough, home of so many Olympic athletes, as mentioned before. They got the coaching staff, they got state-of-the-art facilities. They're going to a extremely focused and athletic environment. It's just going to be so good for these young players. They've just, I believe, put their first kind of like invites to like their tryouts. I've seen it a couple times popping up. I think it's just kind of slowly coming through. But everyone wants to be at NFL Academy. I think that we've seen all of my thing. I've applied. Do you know anyone that can like kind of help me in? I'm like, nah, it's not.
Not really how it works.
Nothing to do with me. But yeah, they're I mean, they're in such high demand. They've just started playing Europe football. They've kind of proven a lot of people, including myself, I thought they might struggle a little bit in their first couple of games of like rust. But then they came out, blow out other teams. They kind of went behind in their second game against ROG and then came back and got a blowout victory. So like they've been through.
At halftime, they were down. I was like, okay, maybe RG is going to come out on top and show that, yeah, they're the better team. Because that was the debate that week. Who was the better team? I know there was a lot of hype around that on the Elite Britain page.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then they just turned it around and kind of showed why. Because I was kind of going like, oh, they should play Pole next, I reckon. I personally don't really want to see another ROG, and then they showed that they can overcome like that deficit and kind of come through. Pole, obviously, another great team, played Pride for years. I think NFL cleared them personally. I'm just gonna put that statement out there. I think they're the best team in Europe, in my opinion, at the moment. I'm gonna get some heat for that one in the comments, but yeah, I think they've proven they've got the players, they've got the breed, they've got the name respectability. They've got everyone in Europe wants to play for them, not just the UK. They've probably got acquisitions from all over Europe. I mean, it's literally the NFL Academy. It's bred to make more talent. You know what I mean? So it's going to be a great few years for them. I think the only way is up.
Yeah, it might be time to update our list on the main page as far as rankings of who's the best youth team. Might have to move NFL Academy up to the top if they're not already there. I can't remember off the top of my head. I know they're close, but if they're not there, it might be time to move them to the top.
Okay.
But that about wraps it up for today. Running out of time here. So, we talked about the controversy. It's the biggest part of today. The Elite Britain Superlatives, the quarterbacks. A great conversation. And then obviously just getting a little bit more into the NFL Academy, trying to explain to you guys what it is, what it's about, and just how the level of competition is there. So with that all being said, we hope you enjoyed this episode, and we will catch you on the next one.
See you later, guys. Thank you very much.
And we're